like I said, it's 5:30. We want to get the meeting started. We do have a quorum here tonight. We're missing Chantel and Brad. If we could all please stand and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're going to now go to the approval of our commission minutes from May 14th. The minutes have been distributed to you in the agenda packet prior to the meeting for your review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No? May I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Saha that we approve the minutes as written from the May 14th, 2024 Recreation Commission meeting. I will now call for a vote. Please vote.
I can't vote.
Just tap.
No, tap, it doesn't matter. That's one of the things that changed. It passes 6 yes, 1 abstained, and 2 not voted. We're going to now look at the commission work session minutes from May 29th. The minutes have been distributed to you in the agenda packet prior to the meeting for your review. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No. May I have a motion to approve the minutes? May I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Norton that we approve the minutes as written from the May 29th, 2024 Commission work session. I will now call for a vote. Please vote. It passes 6 yes, 1 abstain, and 2 non-votes. Thank you. We're now going to go to unfinished business, which is the Union Hill Park design and parking proposal. I think we're going to get just a quick overview of it.
Good evening. It's been a while. It's been a while for the last 2 meetings. Seems like it's been a lot of excitement.
And Kurt, do you mind to turn your mic on at the podium? I don't know if it's on or not. Just press all of them until it comes on. That's perfect.
Did everybody hear me at first?
Yes.
Yeah, I had some vacation, a little hiccup, but rumors of a dinosaur attack in Wills Park are totally false. Anyway, I digress. Let's get down to business. Mr. Chair and Commission, for your consideration, a recommendation from staff that would approve a new design at Union Hill Park to accommodate additional parking. This item was discussed previously at the May 29th Recreation Commission workshop, and at this time, staff has no additional information to add. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any new questions that have popped up since the workshop.
Any questions for staff? With no questions, do I have a motion?
I have a motion. I move to approve the revised design plan for Union Hill Park to allow for additional parking.
Okay.
And commissioners, if you don't mind to turn on your mics.
You could repeat that motion.
Okay. I move to approve the revised design plan for Union Hill Park to allow for additional parking.
So I was hoping for a conversation, because before we like converse before making motions, or how does that
No,
work?
we have to go for this. I asked for a second.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
And Mr. Chairman, if you wouldn't mind to turn your mic on as well. It looks like a mic got turned off. Thank you, sir.
Second.
Sorry. Just give me 1 second. Okay, now that the motion, we have a motion and a second. The motion is now on the floor for discussion. Anybody want to discuss this? Commissioner Saha?
Sorry, thank you, guys. So I know we had an interesting rec commission meeting. Similar to the signs in the baseball field, I think that had some concerns, but it seemed to have gone well. And then we had the workshop, and I felt like there were several camps or thoughts. One was go forward with the parking and make it a parking lot to accommodate more cars, to accommodate about 400 folks, and charge a little bit more money as a cost-effective solution to the next biggest place, which is the Verizon Amphitheater. That was one idea. I felt the second idea was value engineer the park concept as is, knowing that we're about $650K over budget if you went through the current plan. Is that correct about? Okay. So we'd have to value engineer a solution. And I thought the third option on the floor was just remove the concrete part of the pop-up skate park for, I think, just remove, it's very minimal cost, but to put a playground in would cost about $700K approximately, because there's a lot of expenses of removing the concrete, putting whatever you have to prepare the land for and put together. And the thought became, hey, why not leave it as is, just stripe it, it's really cheap, make it and delay the motion, because once it becomes a parking lot, you can't really unwind it. And then people are like, well, it'd be another $1 million, and how far do you want to kick it down the road? So I felt like we kind of took that one off the table. Let me know if you all agree, disagree. That's what it felt like. So it really became park or parking lot, playground. And when we reviewed the proposal that was sent to us in terms of all the feedback, there were a lot of people that liked it in the greenery concept. And I felt like, hey, if we're representing the people, why not ask our constituents via another poll, hey guys, do you want a parking lot for a bigger stadium, or do you want more greenery, knowing that we'll have to value engineer what you guys said you liked? Ask that question, and then we, as a rec commission representing them, would then abide by what the folks want, like the people that live around there, hopefully. So we might have a simple question, getting their information so that people don't revote, make sure that they're in the area potentially, and just ask, what do you prefer? And maybe go that route as a first step before we decide to go down one path where the community did not have an input for. And that was my suggestion. Any thoughts? I know that was long-winded.
I'm not sure how we get there. I do have strong feelings about this. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the workshop. And I know at some point we have to move forward. I've said this soundbite before, I'll say it again. We are the Park and Rec Commission, not the Parking and Rec Commission, and there are 9 official music venues in Alpharetta, and many pop-up amazing music venues in Alpharetta. And that's a huge part of the quality of life of Alpharetta, as well as playgrounds. And I think Mid-Broadwell Park is an example of an amazing, small, economical park intentionally that is a wild success, that is being used, that we are the captains of fun, and it's used by all ages. There's grandparents there, there's kids there, and it's used daily. When you think of a parking lot for the pure aspect of expanding the music venue at Union Hill, that will be used on the weekend, currently about 10 times per year. I know the goal is to make that more, and I've been to those concerts, and I've brought my children, which they were definitely in the minority. The age that's typically at those shows are 40s, 50s, and up, whereas playgrounds, we are serving all ages. So at the other music venues, parking isn't easy. A concert on the Green, a concert at Brook Street, a concert at the Arts Center, It's not easy. You have to work, you have to plan ahead, you have to think, I may park at Alpharetta Elementary, but that's an option. I'm gonna go. The same is true today in attending Home by Dark. If you plan ahead, I've never had to walk. They accommodate by unloading your vehicle. And I feel very strongly against a parking lot. We are not a concrete jungle. We are a green city. We are a family-friendly city. And if we're opposed to the additional parking, do we just vote no and see where the majority ends with our group?
Right now, that's what we will do. Any other comments?
I'm like Carl, I wish we could put a playground on every piece of grass we have here, but we can't. We're $750,000 over budget right now. We have a playground, functional playground, 1.3 miles from where this one would be. I can't wrap my head around why we would need another playground that close. I don't, that doesn't make sense for the dollars. The one thing I gleaned from the survey that was taken out, the one thing you can't get rid of is the skate park. That was the highlight of what I was reading, it seemed like, for a day and a half worth of reading type thing. But my opinion is I don't think we need another park. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but that's right on the Forsyth County line. Who's going to use that park most of the time? Correct.
I will use that playground. I'm an Alpharetta citizen. And Mid-Broadwell is what, 2 blocks from Wills Park? So I don't think proximity really plays into that personally. And there is no playground on the Greenway. And so not only would this be a passive park, but people that are using Union Hill for a bike path from the heart of Alpharetta can also use it as a passive resting spot for their children, to bribe their children to come on a bike ride. It keeps our community active. And there is 0 parks on our Greenway. And I think that this would be a unique way to fulfill that plan.
Yes.
There's no park to be built on the docket, right? Like, we're over budget, so we can't vote on a park to be built there. We're voting on whether it's going to be a parking lot or nothing. Green space. So, I mean, I agree. I mean, I'd be down to build a park, but it's $700,000 over budget, and we can't come up with that, right? So, I don't know.
So is that a reason to put in a parking lot?
I think with,
I'm not following the reason there. Just because we can't afford the playground at this moment, but we could afford a parking lot, is that a reason to put in a parking lot? Maybe we just leave it.
in my opinion, with it being one of the only music venues, or not just music, the Grill Fest went there. So other big things that it could attract in the future. It's the biggest covered venue that we have in the city, and I know it hasn't been used a lot, and that was one of the points that we made in the workshop, but I think it could be in the future. So I figure if we can't have a nice park, if we can't have something there, we might as well make it parking, have something that we don't have right now, which is a venue that can hold the capacity of that 450 or whatever people.
Yes, sir.
I think I recall them saying they could value engineer a solution that would make a playground concept, but it'll cost money to do it. I also asked, because the bond money that was assigned was how much it would have cost at the time. That money interest has grown, and that money that they have accrued has not been allocated. So potentially it could be done, but we don't know unless we ask.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I have a quick comment. At Mid-Broadwell, there was some gives and some takes on, phase 1, phase 2, and one of the things that went, ironically, is the parking lot. It's the only parking lot in the city that's made of, I don't know that official material, but parking lots are expensive.
Any other comments?
Is there no option to go up with parking with any kind of design phase, or it has to be a main level parking lot. Like, there's no parking garage option, like we pop one up over here down the street from like Innovation, right? Like, that's not an option at Union Hill, or it could never be. Okay. Even downstream, even further downstream, like to wait and take on parking in a future phase. There's no like future phase to kind of, do a parking garage, down the road that could. Yes, yeah, okay. Just want to ask.
Okay. Any?
I said, I'm not aware of any, or are you aware of any?
There's
development?
not, and, when you're talking about a parking deck, your minimum cost per space is going to be about $35,000 per space. So, yeah, and it goes up from there. We've had some that were more than that.
You could charge for the concerts, right? I mean, some places do that. I mean, just an option. I was curious.
So this is all based on the idea that Home by Dark needs 400 spots, right?
That the
Or
venue
they
needs.
need 200 spots because they want to put in 400 people with their tables and all this other stuff. And what about the next guy who comes and says, oh, I'm not going to do tables, I'm just going to line up chairs, and now I need 600. You can put 600 people under this. So then what?
Well.
That's my question to the people that are for a parking lot because they think it'll solve the problem. People can find somewhere else to park. There's parking nearby.
Well, and I've said it at the meeting, I think we've got to do it one way or the
Yeah.
other, and that's what I'm looking at. We got to decide. I don't see going halfway in the current situation we're in. I don't think we can expect the city to come up with more money to build the park in the future, more parking in the future. It's got to be done now, one way or the other, and that's just my opinion. And so I do want everybody to vote the way you want to vote, and then let's see what happens. So if we don't, does anybody have anything else they want to say? I don't want to leave anybody out. If not,
Kirk, do you have a figure on what that playground would cost? If we did it right now and did it the way the original plan was, what would be the cost of that facility right now?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. It's a significant, it's not a traditional playground, and that's why there's so much added cost. You got turf, artificial turf elements, you got play elements, but not a traditional playground, and you got kind of stormwater worked in with a trail system. So it's more than a playground. It could be used for a variety of different things with a few playground elements. So off the top of my head, I do not know what that figure is, but it is. I do know that we can make budget if you did a parking lot, you could do it in budget. You can be significantly over if we go with the original plan.
Is there an option to scale back on the play elements, just like Mid-Broadwell?
I'm sorry?
Is there an option to scale back on the play elements and the trail? I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to make a trail there because the greenway is there.
There are always options, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
there's options.
I'm not, so if things direct the staff to go in that direction, then staff will go in that direction, yes.
okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, let's please vote. This does not pass. There's 3 yeses, 4 noes, and 2 people not here. So it did not pass to move forward.
And Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, for our policy that we have in terms of voting on items in the city of Alpharetta, if there is a motion that does not pass, a subsequent motion needs to be made so that there's an affirmative action on the item. So for example, you would need to have a motion that eventually passes. That motion could be for something else, to deny, since his motion was to approve. It could be for a deferral. It could be for anything else. We just have to have a successful passing motion now to follow. Basically, we're acting under the assumption that it didn't pass. Yeah. Okay, Carla's got it. She's
I'll take a first stab at it, and if you'll help me shape this. I would like to make a motion to deny the additional parking and stick with a modified park/playground plan for Union Hill Park.
Do I have a second? Do we have any comments on this? If not, please vote. This motion passes. 4 yes, 3 noes, 2 not voted. So thank you. Let's move on to our staff presentations, please. And can we start with Christine doing for Amanda?
Well, good evening. Good to see you all. I just have a real short report tonight. No fancy pictures. I just want to talk about some of the things that are going on in the Recreation Services Division. Summer camps did kick off this last week. Very successful first week, and we're into our second week already. So far, so good. I see kids in the park. They're having fun. They're going to the pool. I know the field trips have been very successful. So I think overall we've had a great start to the summer. At the pool, the Sharks dominated in their first swim meet, and then they dominated in their second swim meet. So very exciting, 2 wins in a row. And we actually have 3 meets 3 weeks in a row at our pool, which is great. Normally we only have 2, and there may even be a few more. So a lot of area pools that we swim at are either being refurbished or they're just not having them at their pool. So we will welcome anybody to come to the city of Alpharetta and enjoy our wonderful pool. Memorial Day event was interesting. We had rain, heavy rain that morning. So I just want to give a shout out to James. Thank you so much for helping us navigate that and move everything inside. And it actually turned out beautiful. We had the band out in the foyer out there, and then we held the ceremony here, had the doors open so everybody could hear the band play. And it was well attended, and it was just turned out to be a nice event honoring our veterans. So that was wonderful. And then the last thing I just want to talk about is our free fitness. That is just kicked off this summer on Town Green. We have CrossFit out there. These are on Tuesday nights. CrossFit, and we have Zumba. Zumba's huge out there. I don't know, have any of you been out there when Zumba's out there? No. It's crazy. They're having a ball out there. Bright colors, loud music. They're having a great time. And we have a yoga out there. So every Tuesday night throughout the summer, we have an opportunity to go out and feel fit and do some fun things out there on the Town Green. And the last thing is, I have a list of things that are going on between now and the next meeting. You'll see that on your agenda. And just the biggest thing coming up for us is 4th of July in Wells Park. So we're very excited about that, still keeping it fairly low key. One thing we are doing that is new this year, we will have the pool concession stand open from 7 to 9. So as soon as the pool closes, we're going to have a way for people to come in safely and go back out. They can go buy things at the concession stand, and then the concession stand at the Equestrian Center will also be open for people to go buy things that they want or need. So that's the new things for Wells Park for 4th of July, and that's all I have. Any questions?
I have a quick 4th of July question. The city of Alpharetta only does fireworks as far as the city display on the 4th, regardless of weather, right?
Yes, rain or shine.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Unless it's absolutely tornadic, which happened almost 1 year. So, yes, John.
Christine, I have a question. I was over at Wills Park Sunday, and I was amazed at the number I wasn't at the pool, but the number of people at the pool. Do you guys have like a number of people that utilize that pool every week?
I can pull that up. Yes, I can pull that up through our registration system and be able to tell on the POS part of it how many people come in. I can get that. I'll give you a report on that at the next meeting because I'll have a much better, clearer view of how many people have been coming in during the summer.
And
we're usually at capacity every day.
We found enough lifeguards this year.
Pardon me?
We found enough lifeguards this year.
Great lifeguards. What's exciting about our lifeguards is we've had About a third come back from last year because a lot of them graduated out of college and moved on to big kid jobs. And we have a lot of high schoolers right now, and they are just fantastic. They've learned very quickly. They're very professional out there, and I hope that when you're out there at the pool, you do see that. If you don't, please let me know. But from what I've seen out there, they're alert, they're doing their job, and Kat, our supervisor, is just thrilled with the team that she has. So what's nice about those high schoolers is we're probably going to have them another 4 to 6 years, so I'm excited about that.
There's great energy
Yeah.
with the staff at the pool, and it was at capacity for sure on Saturday because there was a waiting line way out the door.
Yeah.
And then a very successful triathlon was hosted at
Yes.
Wills Park
Yes, the triathlon
on
was
Sunday,
fantastic.
which was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we do have 2 road races this weekend. One will be on Old Milton on Saturday, or I'm sorry, on Sunday, and then we have a tournament in the park following that, a baseball tournament. And then Saturday, it's over by Dave & Buster's over on North Point, yes. So those are the events that are going on along with Farmers Market. It's actually a slow weekend for us, believe it or not. It is.
And Christine, those shark swim meets, are they always Thursdays?
Yeah, they're always Thursdays.
Okay, and so the pool closes 3:30. Right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And I think they have 5 in total, but right now I know that there's 3 of them at ours, and normally there's only 2.
Who are they competing against? Other city groups or other like neighborhoods
Well, some
around
of them
there?
are actually neighborhood
Okay.
swim teams. Eden Wild is one of the ones we compete
Okay.
against. Windward is another one.
Okay. I think there's like a rotating schedule. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, yeah, and our numbers for Sharks is up significantly this year, so we're very excited about that. Yeah. So, yes.
Just wanted to share, my kids one's a counselor for your camp and one is an attendee, and the counselor's having a blast. The camaraderie with the staff has been great. They're being silly and they're having fun. He's enjoying the job. His first time doing it. And my daughter appreciates that you guys have added some variety to the Team Adventure Camp activities, so she's having a great time too. So thank you again.
Thank you for that report. You know, I have to give kudos to the staff over there. Lindsay Pritchard and her team revamped and restructured the camp, and we always train our staff, but we even revamped that. And I think that has created a more cohesive group, raised the excitement for our camps with our staff. And the way the team is structured, I think there's more support for, that's a little more well-rounded for our teams that are out there working with the kids directly. So I've just been thrilled by what's going on. I'm excited to see what the rest of the summer brings. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Cultural Services was a written report, is that correct? Yes. Recreation Services. Any more, Christine? No, I don't have any. Okay. Sorry, I don't have those reports to give. Park Services, are you going to do both?
No, Park Services is going to be a written report.
Okay.
Keep this brief. Good evening. I'll just kind of piggyback on what Christine said. Camps are, the park's being utilized to the fullest. I mean, just go out and anywhere in the park, anytime during the day, and it's packed. And that's how we like it. We've got, obviously, we've got the new outdoor play area, which is located in the Grove. So we've got some kind of natural elements that we've put out there. So it's a nice little passive area just to go. And I'm not really going to say it's a playground, but it's a play area. The purple playground, which is kind of behind Field 7, we've enlarged the border of it. We had just an entire 6x6 that kind of surrounded it. We went around with the new border like we have at the yellow playground. So it just greatly enhanced that space with the school there, with the camps there. It's really worked out well. We do have some areas to kind of add some things in the future if we want to go that route. So the Equestrian Center never stops. All the shows have been well attended. We had Cub Camp last week, which was great. Cub Camp moved out. The next day we had a horse show moving in. So can't say that every week, but we've had a lot of the landscaping up front along Wills Road, the junipers that have just gotten huge. Everything's just gotten so mature, and so we went in, kind of removed some of those junipers, which really kind of opened up that area, and we're really kind of just focusing on, like Christine said, July 4th. So we've got a lot of focusing on our common areas. We know we're going to have a lot of visitors in the park, so we're prepared for that. So that's my report.
Any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Wacky World, can you give us any updates?
So at this time, we're not prepared to give updates on Wacky World. Morgan will be presenting an update to City Council on Monday, the 24th. So I'd encourage you to tune in for that. But at this point, we're just not prepared to give a report yet. I believe Ms. Shapiro would love to comment on that.
Yes, so I serve as the fundraising chair for Wacky World Playground, and at this point, we are at right at $496,000.
That's wonderful.
And the goal was 500, right?
The goal is technically 750. That's including the playground and some of the extra costs associated, I believe, with the poured surface as well. So that is our goal. That is the amount that is pledged and in the bank account as of to date. So we're very happy with where we are, and it seems like a lot, but it's only a short hump left to go. So thank you all.
So the July 4th fireworks VIP seats will help fund this. Are there any other activities coming up?
So that is another item. That fundraising event, we did cancel it. We had a few people who had bought tickets, but after doing some thorough additional planning, while it was a wonderful idea in order to maintain the safety of the roads and pedestrians in the area, as part of our planning process, we did not originally incorporate the idea that public safety would need to close down certain roads at a certain time point. So we didn't feel confident and comfortable selling parking as a fundraiser, knowing that all of our guests would need to arrive 3+ hours before the fireworks went off. Because there's a chance that some of the roadways to get into the area that we had reserved for parking would be closed. And so I would hate for someone with a parking pass to be stuck in the firework traffic and not able to make it into the parking lot, because we are grateful for public safety that they work the roads during the event, and I didn't want there to be any confusion from drivers, parkers, or public safety when they say, hey, the road's closed, we have to shut it down now. So we did have to pull back that event.
That's a cool
Which
idea.
I know we were so excited for.
All right.
There's not enough park. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I'm hopeful that maybe in the future we could plan it out. It just didn't work out perfect for this event. But there'll be other fundraising opportunities. More on that soon.
Thank you. Mr. Kirby?
Back up again. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Is it plugged in?
You're good. You're good. I'm just waiting for it to start before I switch it over.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get it to. All right, there you go. Excuse my technological deficiencies, but I finally figured it out. So I think if you read the reports of many of us, they're saying the same thing. Matt, Eric, and I have been working very hard on a lot of things together. And Morgan wanted to drive the point home that May was a month of celebration. And as you can see up on the screen, we had several grand openings in the month of May. We did cheat and put one in for June 1st, but we're going to count the month of May because it was all planned and coordinated during that time. You have, Mid-Broadwell Park, Webbridge Doll Park. You have Waters Road, and even though it didn't have an official grand reopening, Web Zone was opened in May as well.
Is that what's down here on
Excuse me? Yeah, bottom middle. Yeah, that is the main element. That's a picture of the main element. It is no longer in the shadows of Wacky World. It's its own standalone, and that was our goal, is to have a great playground anchored on the east side of town that stood alone and not in the shadows of Wacky World, which Web Zone, as you are aware of, has basically been in the shadows of Wacky World. So it is its own playground now, and it is a pretty awesome playground. And then finally, we have the next section of the Alpha Loop that opened up on June 1st. So we're excited about the month of celebration, and as you can see, our staff's excited about it as well. So. A couple other things that we don't want to lose light of what's going on. Matt mentioned this, but these are the pictures of the enhancements that he did at the Purple Playground, which everybody knows that's the one just below the Grove. And then up the hill is the natural play area, which have some dinosaur sightings out there. We'll leave it at that. But we just want to thank Councilman Donald Mitchell. He actually had the idea, and we're like, are you sure about this? But you know what? It turned out great. It's awesome. Go to the Grove and check it out, because the dinosaurs just kind of put the icing on the cake. But all the work that Matt's staff did, along with the rec services staff, it was a joint effort. The idea and all the different elements that came in, it was a joint staff effort. It really turned out great, and we're really proud of something that didn't cost a whole lot of money to do. We repurposed an area. We just didn't destroy or demo and leave a blank area. We actually repurposed it for something that the kids would enjoy. I have nothing else to add. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take the end.
Any questions, comments? If not.
Are you Morgan tonight?
Yes. Well, I'm not Morgan tonight, but Morgan's not here, so I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yep, so it's June, so we're halfway through the year, and we haven't seen any of the partner associations here yet. This is like a
So your request is, can we have more partner associations for the second half of the year?
Please, and they could come here, or they can come to the workshop, whatever is convenient, whatever works for anybody's schedule, but.
We'll make a note of that and see if we can accommodate that.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Have we started signing up for football yet? It's going to be interesting to see where the numbers come up this year.
For football?
Football.
I don't.
Cheerleading, I think.
Kristen, do you have any information on that?
Registration has already started for
Yeah.
this school year, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have numbers for this year yet.
Any other questions?
For the record, they have registration, NAFL has registration going on currently. It started in March. It starts very early. Play will start in August, and I'll have a good idea of the numbers by December, and I'll go ahead and report that out to you.
Any other comments or questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have one quick comment. I too serve on the Wacky World Recruitment Volunteer Committee, and so if anyone has an HOA, a business, you name it, a family you want to sign up to help, I would love to talk to you about recruiting some muscles and some backs and some hearts to come help in October. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? If not, we don't have any public here, so can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Move to adjourn?
Second. It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Saha that we adjourn the meeting at 6:10 p.m. I'll now call for a vote. Please vote.
Yes, let's do that.
Vote passes 7 yeses and 2 not voted. Thank everyone for coming. Great night.